Hello, EDU 104. My name is Cliff Riley. For my YouTube book report, I'd like to do the 55 Essentials by Ron Clark. He was an Educator of the Year a couple years back, and he wrote this book telling how he earned that award and the things that he did for his children to not only help them in the classroom but to become better people. He made these 55 rules out of experience from what he's done in his life, and he's put them into the classroom. One of the big things about the book that's important to understand is that as an educator reading the book, if you want to use these rules for your classroom, you have to understand that you can't just tell your students to do these rules, but you actually have to live them out yourself, because if you don't and you're not practicing what you preach, then your students are not only going to disregard what you're saying, but they're going to lose a little bit of respect for you as well. So that was one of the most important things I got out of the book, as well as some of the rules were really more oriented towards life itself more than the classroom. There were a few that were oriented to the classroom, like only speak when the teacher asks you to speak, and little things like that that apply to the classroom. But then you could take that outside of the classroom and contribute that to real life, where it's important not to interrupt people's conversations and things like that. So that was one of the important things that people wanted. This is one of the things that Mr. Clark was wanting to get out when he wrote this book. He had a whole lot of things on eating that were really fascinating to see. And I think anybody that reads this could actually learn one or two things just on that section alone. He called them the ABCs of food. And there were a bunch of different rules that a lot of people may not know. Things that, just general etiquette. I thought those were pretty interesting. And then towards the end, he was talking about how you need to live your dreams and try everything you can. Don't let someone tell you that you can't do something. And if they do try to tell you that, don't believe it. If you are striving to do something, it's important that you strive for it 100%. Stay motivated towards your goal, and one day you can accomplish it. And it was a really nice book to read, especially becoming an educator. I thought it was really important to understand some of the concepts that he was talking about. It would be really hard for a person to live all these 55 essential rules every day. Nobody's perfect. He even mentions that in the book. People do make mistakes, and you have to learn from them. So that's one of the other things that I thought was really interesting, is how it'd be really hard to focus and always be just like he's saying in this book. It's a lot to ask out of your students, but the more you ask out of them, the better off they're going to be in the future, not just in your classroom, but once they move out of your classroom and move on further in life. I think this is more oriented towards probably like middle school or high school students, although there were some rules that kind of implied it was elementary, like when standing in line, recess, things like that. They had rules about recess, rules about standing in lunch lines, and things like that. So there are different aspects of this book that apply to all three different grade levels, whether you're doing early childhood education, middle grades, or secondary. I thought it was really interesting. I'd recommend anybody read it. If you don't want to actually read the whole book, there are snippets online of the rules themselves. But I'd recommend reading the whole book, because the rules are one thing, but how he uses the rules and provides examples in the book would be really helpful for all educators. That's about all I got. Thank you guys for your time and consideration, and good luck to you all in the future.